Hello, folks. I am the old sergeant. One truly bipartisan issue in Washington, D.C. is its commitment to endless war. There is no scenario in which the conflict in Afghanistan ends with American victory. American innocence is the belief that our intentions in other nations are virtuous and a force for good. But we have to be honest with ourselves. We thought we could build peaceful nations in the Middle East. We thought we could have the same outcome as when we installed governments in Japan and Germany at the end of World War II. But after the expense of lives and treasure, we find ourselves hated by the people we tried to help. We had hope that by invading and installing a republic in Iraq right next to the hostile Islamic nations, that it would influence these nations to adopt Jeffersonian political ideals. We now know that it didn't work, as Iraq is now a puppet of Iran, and the Iraqis hate us. We came as liberators into Iraq expecting to be greeted World War II style with crowds of smiling faces throwing flowers, only to find the people viewed us as hated infidel occupiers. In Afghanistan, we went to war with the Taliban in our hunt for Osama bin Laden. Instead of just taking him out and leaving, we stayed trying to nation build. Our military on the ground feel that they are doing good. They kill the Taliban and help local villages with things like providing health care and building infrastructure. Winning hearts and minds is a military tactic. But we mainly do it because we are kind-hearted Americans and want to help. The force for good. Sadly, again, no matter how much we want to help, we are still the hated infidel. The Iraqis will gladly take our help and then shoot our soldiers in the back. Once again, we try to install a Jeffersonian republic, but we know the country will fall to the Taliban as soon as we leave. The Afghanis need to want freedom as much as we want to help them achieve it. They are not ready for anything but authoritarian Islamic rule and may never be ready for anything else. The cost of the war has been $1 trillion. It is estimated in the next 40 years it will be another $1 trillion for veteran care. A total of 2,354 U.S. fatalities in Afghanistan. Of these, 1,865 were killed in action. More than 320,000 soldiers from Afghanistan and Iraq have traumatic brain injuries, and more than 1,600 soldiers lost all or part of a limb. More than 138,000 have post-traumatic stress disorder. On average, 20 veterans commit suicide each day. The Iraqi and Afghanistan Veterans of America found that 47% of its members know as someone who has attempted suicide after returning from active duty. President Trump has been trying to pull back as much military forces as he can. Protecting other nations has been at great expense in treasure and people. With $18.2 trillion in debt, we can no longer afford it. These nations need to build their own military instead of living off American taxpayers' labor. But the president is fighting a Congress that wants the wealth created by the military-industrial complex to continue to flow to their constituents. The military leadership wants to someday sit on the board of some defense contractor and rake in the money for that. There are many in Congress and in the military that actually feel America is the force for good in the world and need to keep intervening in other nations for that reason. As a nation, we tried to do the good and noble thing in Iraq and Afghanistan. We are a good-hearted, generous people that tried to help other people achieve the freedom and prosperity we have. But the people of these nations need to want freedom and prosperity more than we want to give it to them. We gave them the opportunity and they wouldn't take it. No Islamic nation will. The time will never be right to leave Afghanistan. We need to tell the President and Congress that it is time to bring our warriors home. If terrorist camps rise their heads in the future, bomb the heck out of them, but no more sending in ground troops. We need the troops because of the growing hostilities with China. I am the old sergeant. Stay informed, prepared, active, prayerful, and as always, stay vigilant.